Hello. It is probably too soon in the day for those sunset looking colors to be happening. And I think if I turn around, you'll see why they're happening. I really hope there's rain in some of them clouds. Whew. Because it hasn't rained since before last weekend, and it's Saturday. So that's difficult. Basically treating myself as not going to worry about it unless it's a hazard. So I got the hazard pulled out, and then I'm just like, whatever at that point. So that's what we got going on. The overnight lows this weekend are in the 50s, so I did bring out some of my plants that have been in the basement because it's a good chance for them to start to harden off. Peonies are really up. Look at them. They're really up. I'm going to put a foot here, then there to get through. Because there's something I especially want to show you up here. And it's not just the view. Wow, it's amazing how the storm rolling in can really make it look like a sunset. So the thing I want to show you isn't my indoor plants coming out. Look at that really, really big. I'm going to have to pot up some of those fig stuff and whatnot. Probably should pot them actually inside a fenced area before I go in for the night. I've left the yucca and thornless black locust out. And then as I was fussing over the thornless black locust and getting the water in there, I noticed what's next to it. Have you noticed it yet? That's right. We got another year of golden morel coming up in the yard. Now, if that's the only one I see, I will let it go to spore and let it do its thing. If I find more, I may consider taking some. But the main goal is to keep them going. We have a really aggressive variety of mushrooms here that I didn't plant but is delicious. They are the inky caps. I have hairy inky caps that introduce themselves naturally. I have golden morel that introduce themselves naturally. I also have some form of oyster mushroom that doesn't seem to mind pine, so I'm guessing those are phoenix oyster. And then I have the only kind that I introduced myself, and that's the purple wine cap. That are the mushrooms that are edible around here. I still have to check really close because there's another 20-30 type of mushroom that just are either unidentified or definitely not edible. You know, so always be careful, always double check. Some of them look kind of similar. Some of them pop up right where you planted something. Yada yada. So be careful. So I've just kind of been popping around weeding. I made a commitment to get... Oh, look, it might actually rain. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I hope it does. It needs to. Come on, rain. I made a commitment to get some snowdrops out for somebody. And to... I think I got a couple of purple crocus that aren't in great places. They were interested in that. And that's for pickup tomorrow, so I may end up doing that in the rain. I don't know. I've been throwing all my weeds at the birds. So I have the weed feed hatch open. And if they don't eat it, they trample it. I seen you got a few eggs in there, kiddos, so perhaps before it's dark, I'll be able to get in there and get some eggs off you. Since they have a tendency to bury them, kick them, break them, what I've been doing, because when they're buried they stay moist enough that they don't they don't respond to water glassing. So what I've been doing is giving them a few days out of the hutch, and I'm going to hope that that gives me a more accurate read on the water glassing to see which eggs are good or bad, because I'm about ready to give up otherwise. Just gonna say, jeez. And then in here we got, oh, did you see all them flowers down there? Oh, that's pretty. Look at that color. But also, that's Saskatoon sour cherry. We've also got buds coming in on the raspberries. The thorny blackberry in the front that I didn't think had thorns when I ordered it, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. That is coming into flower. Keeping a close eye on it because I don't want it to spread, but if it'll stay put, I won't mind it. This is where I want to pull some of the snowdrops out of. The ones that go like back and have started like in the back there. Those need to come out. Been watering a few things here. My third Saskatoon came into bloom just last night because yesterday this was not blooming. This is the plum. It's called early blue. I should not have gotten early anything here, but I got early blue and I feel stupid. And this is my newest, and this is a from seed Saskatoon. I pluck them up when they're young, out of the soil. I've learned to recognize a whole lot of seedlings, and that's the case here. I pull little seedlings and I pot them. I would prefer always to figure out what a seedling is in a way that it's contained and that I don't really have to worry about what it's doing. Oh, good news. We got a carrot self-seeded. Can you see it? These are carrot seeds. So that's good news. This is the Red Lake currant here. These seem to be starting to bloom. That's the Yostaberry. I've been able to get both the ground cover and the elderberry well settled in despite transplanting it at the beginning of this drought and not having a garden hose. What I do have is rain barrels. Rain barrels are good. So, something I'm working on, getting everything all sorted out here. And let's see now. Asparagus isn't up yet, I don't think. Oh, yeah, it is. Check it. These jump out of the ground really fast. But looks like I might get asparagus tonight. That one's not up yet because I was just poking it this morning. This one I can't tell because I'm trying to reserve the spiky parts to protect this rare form of, I think, staghorn sumac, but some sort of sumac. Oh, good, here's another one. Boy, oh, these daffodils make it hard to tell, huh? But yeah, there's another one. And that's where I pulled these from, is right here. Still haven't decided where to put my newest gooseberry. Thorns are a really hard thing for me to decide on. Right now it's in that pot right there. Oh, please, rain. You smell like rain. Are you going to rain for me? Please, rain. The hardy kiwi number 1, which is a standard hardy kiwi, is leafing out. Some of the bark seems to be peeling funny. But there's leaves. Not on all of it, but on enough of it. I might cut this part because I keep bonking it. But trick with hardy kiwi to get fruit off it is to make sure you cut off as much new growth as you possibly can during the growing season. It's annoying, but it's important. I ignored my black-cap raspberry. All last season, all winter. Looks like I still got a few. I'm going to transplant those to the hillside, right in front of the guardrail. Let's go up here. The rhubarb that I transplanted in the dry zone seems to be doing fine. This gooseberry, the Pixwell, it's blooming. Can you see them? I got a weed in my hand, but it would at least change the focal distance. Yeah, I think you can see them. They might be a little blurry though. Have jewelweed. Transplanted some last year from my uncle's place. I also transplanted a handful of Mayapple, because they were going to get tore up by the road crew anyway, and so it didn't really matter that much. Well, maybe it did rain last night a little, so I don't know how the heck there would be anything damp in there. Otherwise, I didn't put anything damp in there. But not enough, because the rain barrels are both only half full and everything under them is dry. These are all thornless raspberries. I do have the clove currant going here, as you can see. Funny, I didn't water this one, and I did water this one. The only real difference is that it's closer to this compost, so don't know what that's all about. The hazelnuts are starting to be strong enough to be less gnawed on by bunnies in the winter, as you can see. I'm also anxiously awaiting seeing my thornless black locust leaf out. I think it may just have done. Look at that, yeah. So that's the one that overwintered outside. It might be the only thing that can survive right here. And so it is something I'm strongly considering just keeping there. Alright, I made a tangle here while I was cleaning up after the landslide when the retainer wall fell. So that's okay, that's better. So, yeah, and then down here, all of the snake root and a whole bunch of mustard garlic that I'm feeding to the quail, because I'm honestly not that big a fan of the taste of it. And if they don't eat it, they at least trample it. It's not going to seed, it's not going to live. And if I just set it down somewhere, it'll reroot or accelerate itself going to seed. So, oh, look, the purple flowering raspberry is doing great here. This is exactly the setting it needed. This is some really free draining soil that I created right here. I am convinced that this zone right here at one point before a lot of construction was the outhouse for this house. You know, in the early 1900s. They built it in 1898, or at least they dug the foundation that year. And then by 1903 they took out a mortgage to build the place. But based on the type of soil that's here and the type of backfill that's in it, I would guess that when they put in the internal bathroom, I would guess this is where it was. It's very free draining right here. And it really only gets sun in the early spring. And that is what purple flowering raspberry wants. So, at this point, it's just got to get strong and healthy enough that it can maybe fruit, hopefully. And then when's the last time I've taken you down the steps? Let's do it, hey? That looks like either a black walnut or some sort of relative. Maybe a hickory nut. So, don't forget that there's 2 sets of stairs down here. The snake root keeps everything really safe down here. I've got a grapevine that's a wild grapevine growing up over there. I didn't put it there, but that's where it is, you know. And then, as the year goes on, the snake root gets almost as tall as me down here, and this gets relatively impassable. So it's good for me to get down here and look in now, see what's still here. Got some interesting things that I don't remember what they are in pots down here. That might have been something before, but I think it's I don't think it's what it was. I think that's just a bush honeysuckle. Did I feel a drip? Oh my gosh, I'll be so excited. If it starts to drip, then this video is going to be over. The deer slept through here so heavily this winter that everything I planted here died. So, gonna continue keeping an eye out on the loading dock at work for short pieces of electrical conduit, because those are the most stable poke things that make the sleeping spaces less comfortable. And that is the only way that I can actually grow things down here, is to make the sleeping spaces less comfortable. Hey, I had some changes down here. For example, this dead tree here finally dropped its plant. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. It's raining. Just sprinkling. I hope it rains for real. We need like a real rain, not like a here's a few inches in your rain barrel rain, like a real rain. We need it so bad. So rather than get caught halfway down a cliff for it, I am gonna head my way back, go give these goodies to the quailios. Whether they want them or not, they're getting them. And oh good, my black haw is doing really good. And it looks like the Pennsylvanica cherry is popping through the sides of its protector, so it might be time for me to switch to some sort of fencing around that instead. But you can see these pokes, these sticks are helping a lot. I think the unevenness of the pots is also helping a lot, but that's the stuff I'm downsizing at this point, so I'll have to think of other solutions. But for right now, thank you so much. Woo woo. Decide what I'm stepping on and step it. Come on. Thank you so much for visiting the cliffside as a much awaited rain finally arrives. Woo, and it's really arriving. Take care. This has been permaculture. And I'm getting wet. Bye.